Hello Scorpio, great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Scorpio. I'm going to go over your initial messages first before I go into this spread, okay? I also want to start out by wishing you all currently coupled up with the person that you have children with. There is a little bit of a debate as to how the kids are being divided between two parents. Like where the kids are going for the holidays and things like that. So there's a little bit of disagreement, disputes over custody issues and children in particular. So I do see children being shuttled from one place to the next. I do feel as well there is an element of blended families, new members being added to the family, such as somebody might be involved in another relationship, and then they're bringing their partner to introduce them to the family and as well as the kids. So I do see that element coming through, and I do feel that this month it's going to be relatively busy for a lot of you. I do see a lot of celebrations, a lot of good activities oriented towards a lot of family, a lot of social engagement that involve people getting hitched, nuptial agreements and things like that. What I also feel as well is I do feel a major slowdown, especially for those of you who are self-employed, when it comes to clients, when it comes to new purchases, when it comes to new inventory. I do see kind of like a little bit of a freeze when it comes to getting or acquiring new clients, okay? What I'm also sensing is there are a few troublesome communication coming through, and it's sort of like the other people that are coming through, they're giving you some ideas, and they're communicating with you. So I see like electronic communication, face-to-face communication that is a little bit kind of confusing. So I feel that you're sitting back and you're like, what do I do with this information? And I feel that a lot of you are just kind of like waiting for the other person to communicate rather than going out and reaching out to them. I feel that you're waiting for them to reveal their cards. You're waiting for them to reveal themselves, to reveal their intentions, their motives, and, things like that. I feel the communication is coming in a very straightforward manner from other people. I feel like just from your end, you might be reading a little bit too much into it. So I do sense that coming through. And the last thing that I'm feeling here is they're saying there is a major kind of like a stalemate with a mother figure. So if you're a male and you are dealing with somebody who is the mother of your child, that could be, the mother figure. If you are in general just dealing with your own mother, whoever that is playing as the mother figure role or the maternal role in your family, there are some issues about that. And for women, I do sense as well pregnancies for women, or issues surrounding pregnancy, not being able to get pregnant or getting pregnant. So just be careful about that. Protect yourself accordingly if you are not looking to get pregnant, because it's fertile time, okay? It's a very fertile time for you guys. So let's go into your reading here. One of the first things that I am feeling here with the High Priestess and the Four of Wands, and these cards came out very early on in the spread this month. First of all, I feel like a lot of you were talking to somebody or involved with somebody from the news regarding that person's relationship status, okay? So you might have been talking to them and then all of a sudden things kind of like tapered off and you're like, I wonder what's up with them. And then I feel that you're going to get news that, they're in another relationship, okay? And I feel that they're also going to be in a stable relationship. So I feel some revelation, some news. And when that news comes, I don't feel that you're going to be too sad by it, because at least, you have the closure that you need. So I see a lot of you walking away, mainly because you are finding out about somebody's relationship status. Okay. And I feel that if you were dealing with a fire sign in particular, so this is Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo, I do feel that the whatever relationship that they're in, I feel that it's relatively stable, and I do sense that, you know, they're taking the relationship up to the next level. And then for others of you who might be dealing with an air sign from the past, and you're finding out this news about this air sign, I feel like you're just like, oh, wow, they're involved in another relationship. So I'm just going to cut my losses and move on. So it's going to be a little bit more devastating if you're dealing with an air sign. And especially if you have shared, you know, joint custody with this air sign, I feel like they are introducing new members of the family, or, you know, they're introducing their significant other to the children. And you might be introduced to that person too as at a family function. And I do sense that, you know, it's going to be a little bit awkward, but I do feel that you know, your higher self is happy that they have moved on. Your higher self is not trying to be petty, but your higher self is still a little bit concerned about the children. So I do feel that in the spirit of, like, you know, camaraderie, cooperation, I do feel that it does hurt a little bit. It stings a little bit, but I do sense a lot of you are going to be able to move on from this. And then there are others of you who are taking your own relationship to the next level. I do feel like, you know, last month I felt something about soulful communication coming through. I'm getting the same message again. So I feel like a lot of this might have coming through to reveal to you how they feel about you. And I do feel that they want to take the relationship to the next level, and they are kind of like at a crossroads, and they're trying to tell you, like, you know, what do you want to do? Where do we go from here? What are we planning to do in the future? And what are we to each other? So I do sense that coming through. And I do feel that a lot of you, the relationship itself, I feel like it's very stable. There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of mutual, you know, respect, and there is also like a lot of faith and trust in this partnership. It's a very expansive partnership. But I feel there might be some geographical distance between the two of you. There might be, you know, work-related issues that are coming through where you're not really sure where you're going to be. You're not sure where they're going to be. And I feel like you're trying to take it slow, and I feel the other person is trying to rush things. So they're telling you right off the bat how they feel, and you're going to have to make a decision here as to, you know, do I take the relationship to the next level, or do I walk away from it? Okay. And I feel that, you know, your energy is coming through in this spread as the King of Cups, which means that you're very, very directed. You're also like very strategic. I feel that at this point, a lot of you are feeling quite good about your emotional state. You're feeling quite good about, you know, getting your life together. So life is going swimmingly well for a lot of you. And you might not want to be in a relationship that is too tumultuous, or you might not want to be in a relationship if you're not 100% sure about the outcome. So you only want to invest if you can somewhat gauge that the outcome is going to give you, you know, dividends on your investment. So I do sense that, like, hesitation. A lot of you are just not ready to be in the relationship. So I feel that, you know, if you're dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, I feel there's a lot of emotional hesitation from your end about investing and taking the relationship to the next level. And I do feel that the air sign is kind of pushing for yes or no. I don't feel that they are pushing for, you know, let's be coupled up. They're just pushing for some type of resolution, some type of closure, because they don't like things to be open-ended. Whereas you're just like, well, let's just, you know, wait it out and see how things go. So I feel that you need to be making a decision here, and I feel that you're not, okay? So there's some energy here about, you know, somebody coming to you to reveal their feelings. And I do feel a lot of you are trying to take it to the next level. And the responsibilities that entails, though, it's a little bit difficult, I feel, to manage this relationship. So there's a lot of attraction. I feel there's a lot of mutual cooperation, admiration, adoration, and, you know, like two people really liking each other, and two people who are very high-minded, and the relationship, I feel it can be quite stable. Okay. What's coming through next here? We do have the Eight of Cups as well as the Nine of Swords. So the Eight of Cups is a situation that we have invested a lot of our time, a lot of our resources, and a lot of our emotions into a specific venture. And I feel that, it's not giving you the emotional satisfaction, fulfillment that you're looking for. So you are going to have to move on from it, okay? And I feel that for a lot of you, there might have been some disagreements, some arguments, if it pertains to like work situations as well, where you have been plagued with sleepless nights, where this is usually when I see this card, I think about health issues, okay? So physical health, mental health of somebody close to you or somebody that you're dealing with. And it usually indicates a situation where health issues are coming through prominently for this month, and you are going to have to decide like what you need to do about this. For those with children, I do feel a lot of lack of sleep from the children's end, and then because they're not able to sleep well, they might be dealing with some cold, flu injuries and things like that, like sports injuries. And they're also keeping you up at night, mainly because they're not feeling well. So I do feel loss of sleep. I do feel a lot of communications happening very, very late at night. And, try to get enough sleep. Try to not, try to get restful sleep as well. So that means, not having a TV in your room, putting your phone on silent. So, no matter who it is, it can wait until the morning time. So getting enough sleep, getting enough rest is going to be very vital for you. I do see a lot of drinking coming through for this month. So just be very careful about that, and just be very careful about commute and travels and things like that while you're under the influence. So I do feel a lot of, celebratory energies associated with this Four of Wands here. But it's also the negative aspect is, overindulging, over drinking, especially with alcohol. So just be careful about that, okay? In terms of your emotional state, we have you shown up here once again as the King of Cups. This is a very, very positive card, okay? This is kind of like you at the apex of emotional maturity. A lot of you are in a situation where you are potentially dealing with somebody younger. So we have here linked up with it is the Princess of Swords. And this is a very, very young energy. It might not be an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. This can be air sign, sun, moon, or rising, but it might not even be an air sign. It could just be communication from people who are a lot younger. I feel that they're in the process of learning. They're in the process of growing. And I do feel this is a person that is really curious about the world. They want to understand how things all fit together. I do feel a very curious, inquisitive energy about this person. And for a lot of you, this could be your own children, where you are trying to teach them, the diligence. You're trying to teach them the right way to do something. And you're trying to teach them you're trying to find ways to calm them down. So you might have children that are highly or a little bit more hyperactive, or a little bit easy, like a little bit more high strung. They're too much in their head. So you're going to have to find ways to, soothe them, or at least, make the situation bearable for them. Others of you might be in a capacity where you are working with younger learners, like, as a mentor or as a teacher. Or you are coming across like you might be in a supervisory position, and there are a lot of people coming through, and they're asking you a lot of questions, and you're just like, well, whatever they're asking you, I feel like they want to know everything, and you don't want to inundate them with too much information. So you just want to tell them, like, let's cross that bridge when we get there. Here's what you need to know right now. So I feel like you're being strategic about how to disseminate information and what information to give out to other people who are asking for information. With the King of Cups energy, it can also deal with like somebody who's playing mediator, who's playing like middleman, who's also playing like a therapist to somebody else. Okay, so I feel like you have someone in your midst, and an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, that is a little bit younger than you. The way they communicate, you find it very interesting, the way that their mind works. And I feel almost like you're fascinated by this person. And it seems like you're I feel like you're looking at them kind of like under a microscope. You're trying to figure out their motives. You're trying to figure out, the way that they think, because they're like, it's hard for you to pinpoint where this person is coming from. So I feel like you're trying to make sense of what they're doing, the things that they're doing, the things that are happening to them. And you're kind of like taking a more of an armchair like approach when it comes to dealing with this person. So there is a little bit of confusing information, and I feel like it might come through in this manner. And I feel as well that, you have a lot on your plate. You have like, family and children and things like that in your life. And even if you don't have family, or even if you don't have children that you're worried about, I do feel that, you have a lot of like new revelations that you're trying to like wait for the dust to settle, and you're trying to decide on the next course of action. And I do feel as if this person's communication is coming through at an inopportune time. And as a result of it, you're just like, let me put it on the back burner and not deal with this for right now, because I don't know how to respond to it. So there's confusing communication coming through. Okay. What I'm also feeling is especially for those of you, I see like a transferring of offices. So if you were in one area of the building, you might move to a bigger office. I feel like the move is relatively good. Okay, so you might be moving to a bigger office. You might be shifting to another like another office, another area of the building, another department, and things like that. So I guess like the right word would be kind of like lateral movement within the same organization for the same position. That's coming through as well. But I feel the opportunities out there. It's not going to happen on its own. So I do feel you need to put in some paperwork and sign some contracts in order to get that rolling for yourself. Okay. So the last cluster that we're dealing with here is the Seven of Swords. I'm sorry, the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Cups. We have two sevens coming through, and the sevens indicate, very, very strong intuition, strong psychic abilities, and the number seven is ruled by the planet Neptune, and it deals with a lot of like transient energy, where what you see is not always what you get. So I'm getting this this idea about a mirage. Okay, it's sort of like something that is too good to be true. You don't entirely trust it. A big part of you is telling your intuition is telling you pretty much this is something worth pursuing, and it is something worth fighting for. The struggle is real. It's not going to be, like an easy thing that lands in your pocket. I feel that you're really going to have to fight for it in order to attain it. And then I feel others of you are like kind of reassessing whether or not the work that you're putting in is going to pay off for you long term. For many of you, this can be a specific relationship partner that I feel that you're grappling with this decision. And you're thinking that, this is a really solid person that I really enjoy spending my time with. But on the other hand, there are all these other options out there. So I'm not sure if it's smart for me to, invest so much in and have it not work out. So I feel like you're dealing with some type of stress regarding how somebody feels about you and what somebody wants from you or expects from you. And you're not really sure, like, should I invest all this time in because I have other options? And it seems to me like, you believe that the person is worth fighting for. You believe that the venture is worth investing in. But it's going to take a long time for things to really pay off. And in the meantime, you have so much on your plate that you're not really sure adding on this other thing that's really going to drain a lot of your time and resources and energy is going to be worthwhile. So I feel a lot of you are hesitant about that, okay? What's also interesting about this this spread here is that we don't have a single Pentacles card. And the Pentacles card deals with material goods. It deals with practical, steps towards doing something. So I feel like this is a very, very dreamy month that you are about things. But all the decisions that you're making, it's like filtered through the head, it's filtered through the heart. And I feel that you are making decisions based on, impulses. You plan things out. However, there's this high impulse, idealistic type of energy coming through. So I feel like you might change your mind about many of these things come, Capricorn. I feel that you're going to be better in a better frame of mind to make these decisions, okay? Because I don't see a lot of like grounded energy. I feel a lot of idealism, a lot of passion, a lot of fervor, and a lot of like a few confusing communication coming through. And I feel like some type of pressure from other people to you to act. And I feel like your intuition is telling you, no, don't act on it. So if you are grappling with something like this, it would be better for you after the 21st to make a solid decision. I feel like by that time, the dust will settle a little bit. And we're also shifting into, an earth sign where it's a lot more, the energy is a lot more compatible with you. Whereas like in a fire sign, like in the time of Sagittarius, the energy is very combustible and it's very idealistic, but it's not. Now, in terms of your spiritual advice, what I have here is the Queen of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. So I feel like for the common narrative that I'm getting here is a lot of you are just, moving away from an air sign. So this can be in a work environment. This can be also in a relationship environment. What I feel is, if you're dealing with an air sign for quite some time, and this could be an ex-partner, this can be like this is a relationship. I feel that there's some sense of finality associated with this. They might have moved on with another person, and I feel that you are shifting away, okay? So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. For others of you, there's going to be some type of I feel like you're not going to reconcile with each other as a romantic couple, but I do feel there's enough communication here between the two of you where the communication is very functional, is very practical, and you only communicate when you need to in order to get something done with them as a unit. And I feel that, the relationship then is going to be a little bit smoother in that manner. If you just agree to disagree and only contact each other if it's absolutely necessary. And especially if this is somebody that, you share children with, I do feel that they're going to tell you about some voyage that they're taking as well, some trips that they're taking, and they're going to bring the children with them. And as a result of it, you might, have the holidays free. Without the children, and you're going to have to plan what you need to do. Overall, they're saying towards the end of the month, the energy is going to clear up and the communication that has been confusing, it is going to work itself out. It's going to start to clear up. And I do feel that you're going to have a lot more mental clarity as to, the best course of action to take, the best steps that you need to do for yourself in order to move your life forward. What I'm also feeling is, for those of you, I mentioned earlier, there's a little bit of a work slowdown, especially for those of you who are on a commission basis, who are self-employed, or who are on a client basis. I do feel that there is a lot of new clients coming through, and I would say like after the 21st time frame, there's a lot of new potential for income generating, activities. And I do feel that you are going to be in an environment where you have to compete with a lot of other people. And I do feel that you are confident in your skills, okay? You're confident in how you communicate, how you convey yourself, how you can persuade others. And I do feel some type of victory, especially if you are entering some type of contest. For those of you who are betting, I do see that working out pretty well for you guys. So if you're entering some type of contest and you have to you work with a team and you have to decide the strategy, I do feel that you're coming up with something that will allow you to win. And I do feel, first, second, third places, you're not going to be trailing too far behind. But I do sense the competition is very fierce and you have some good blessings when it comes to your ability to be persuasive, your ability to be very tactical and methodical, and your ability to think outside of the box. So I do see a lot of creative energy coming through pertaining to winning some type of contest or landing a very, very lucrative client, mainly because you know how to persuade them to get them on board, to sell them an idea, to sell them some type of a goal that you're trying to implement, okay? So the energy is very, very good overall. For those of you who are dealing with, um, people with health issues for this month. So if you're dealing with somebody who is suffering from some health issues, I feel that you're working together as a team to help them, find some diagnoses or at least make recommendations for them so that they can resolve it on their own. Um, the last message that I'm getting here is that I feel for a lot of you, there is somebody is making a gesture towards you and they tell you how much they like you. And I feel that this might have been something that you are aware of, that you might have known for many months. And I feel like somebody told you how they feel about you, and you were taking a really, really long time, that you were like sitting back, not really moving, not really like trusting it either. And I feel that this is the month in which you realize that, wow, they were serious about me. So I have that revelation coming through, and I feel that you need to act on it fast, okay? Because the ship is going to sail away. So they're saying there's going to be, just people revealing themselves, how they feel about you, and then you need to like not sit back, but rather think, like don't dismiss it. Really think about it. Take it seriously, and decide if that's something that you want. Because I feel like a lot of you have like many options, and you're also trying to decide, whether or not it's worth it. I feel as well a lot of you are being recruited for some type of tenure position. So especially in academia, I feel like a lot of you are recruited from an institution for some type of tenure position, some type of like major. I'm seeing like book deals for those of you who are creative workers in the writing industry. So I feel like you're landing. There's a company showing interest in you, and they want you to take over some major like project. And you might have, you might try to decide like whether or not it's feasible. You might have to decide between multiple options when it comes to creative projects. But I do feel it's going to work out really well for you, okay? So move away from it, and it's going to be quite victorious, all right? So at this point, Scorpio, I'm going to move into your love reading. So give me a moment. Let me get the cards laid out. I just want to say as well, if you are dealing with some type of health issues, it is really important to get it checked out, okay? I feel that it would be in your best interest, and I'm not just talking about, health issues related to romance, like STDs and things like that. But I do feel like overall, okay, because the health card did come out in the previous spread, and I'm getting the same vibe when I pulled out this spread. So if there's anything related to health, hormonal fluctuations, even, unexpected like growth, tumors, cysts, and things like that, is really important for you, just for your emotional well-being, for your partner's health, for your own health, to try to get things checked out. I'm getting a lot of health related things, okay? I'm going to pull out another card for the center of the spread here, because I feel like I'm not getting, proper advice here. I'm not getting like one common narrative. Okay. And one last one for the top. Okay. So let's talk about this situation here. Let's talk about the past first. I'm going to talk about the past, and if the past sounds familiar to you, then, the rest of the reading would apply to you. But let's talk about the past first. So first of all, I have the World and the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is, I feel like this is an energy of you or another person you're dealing with. But I feel like a lot of you have recently implemented a lot of travel. You have somebody who's very new, very young, very exciting in your life that is bringing you like opportunities for travel and opportunities for a lot of fun and merriment, okay? I feel that, you are expanding your social circle, and you're interacting with people who are a little bit more like-minded, who are a little bit more like, I feel like it's more fun, lighthearted, okay? So a lot of you might be socially dating. A lot of you might be getting solicited from people who are a lot younger than you. And I do feel an element with the World here of international crowd, like like a group of people who might be different from you, who might hail from far away, or they are different from you culturally, ethnically, and things like that. So I feel that you're in a very good space coming into this month, because from the past, you have a lot of people that are interested in you, and you are coming into contact with people who are very different from you, and they're allowing you to expand your worldview, okay? So overall, this is a very good expansive energy where you are coming into contact with people. You're not just seeing them as like, sexual objects. They're not just seeing you as sexual objects. I feel like there's a lot more emotional depth. There's a lot more like friendship, camaraderie coming through from this new group of people that you're dealing with. For others of you, you might have a younger person that is different from you culturally, that is recently, they either have traveled or you have traveled. I'm seeing like, far away travel. So, across state lines, across countries, across the world, they have traveled quite a ways in order to come see you. And they're making their feelings known to you. A lot of you might be dealing with another water sign, so a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or somebody with, sun, moon, or rising in a water sign, okay? So I feel that they are younger. Their energy seems to me like they're younger, and there's also a new person that came into the picture, and I feel that they're making a gesture towards you. Which brings us to the present situation. And the present situation is, this is your card showing up. And this is somebody who's very easily excitable, and somebody who's like very passionate, very emotionally, like emotional and very passionate. So I feel that you have somebody in your life right now that you are very passionate about. And you're also in a space where you have a lot of love and affection to give another person. And I feel like if in the past you have been jaded and you haven't really been dating, I feel like all that energy is like bubbling up to the surface, where you really want to connect with another person on a physical level. And I feel as well on an emotional, intellectual level as well. But I do feel this is a card about, needing physical contact, okay? Feeling as if you're going to explode, like wanting that, wanting like that, like craving the touch, craving the intimacy, wanting the physical contact with another person. Just be very careful that, that I feel like their energy is very young. So I feel like if you're not serious about this situation, you want to like let them know, because I feel like you are craving that physical contact, and I'm not sure that you're getting the emotional. I'm not sure that you're getting the emotional connection with them as well, because we do have the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords indicates to me a situation where we're a little bit distressed. We're not really sure how things are going to work out long term. A lot of you might be in a long distance relationship, or you're dealing with someone who's significantly younger, and you're not really sure how that's going to work out. You're not really sure about, the what's really appropriate, the generational rifts, what's really appropriate nowadays to do with, someone who's a significantly younger. Others of you might be dating somebody who's a lot older too. So there's a little bit of concerns and worries here about how things are going to work out logistically between the two of you. However, I feel like this new person is allowing you to get over the previous person, whatever it is that you have been hung up on. I do feel this person, this new person coming through, is going to allow you to move along and move your life along in a direction that is very, very good for you. Okay, so I feel there's positive energy here that indicates to me this is somebody reliable, trustworthy. They're going to restore your faith in humanity. So I feel like whatever trauma you've been through in the past relationships, in a series of relationships that might have been very tumultuous, that might have ended up with um, a lot of like bad verbal exchange between you and another person. I do feel this is a healing, therapeutic type of a relationship, okay? So it brings us to the present moment. I feel that a lot of you are kind of like rushing into things because you are craving the intimacy. You are craving, having one person who completely adores you and who dotes you. So you're getting a bit of an ego boost, mainly because someone really, really likes you. Someone really adores you. And I'm going to read the crowning energy. The crowning energy is the person, place, situation that you are thinking about. So let me see here. We do have the Seven of Swords that came out first. And the Seven of Swords usually indicates to me a situation where someone is like sneaking around, doing things in a very clandestine type of manner, doing things behind the scenes and not wanting other people to know. So in a simple way, okay? It could be that you are dealing with someone who's significantly younger. I keep seeing an age difference. Between you and the other person. So I feel like they might be younger than you. And you're just like, I don't really know what to do. So there's this overall sense of awkwardness, okay? And then for others of you, the Seven of Swords here is linked up with the Queen of Wands. So a lot of you are in a relationship with somebody, right? You're in a relationship with a person, possibly a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And somebody else is coming through with some type of offer for, friendship, dating, flirtation, and things like that. And you're just like, I don't know what to do. And I do feel that you're going to put an end to one relationship in order to pursue another. I feel like you're putting an end to one relationship in order to pursue another. So there is somebody in your midst posing as temptation. And I feel like for some of you, you might just go ahead with the new person. For others of you, you're involved with somebody else, possibly a fire sign. And so you're putting an end to that communication with the person that is trying to verge or is trying to break through your relationship. So I do feel temptation coming through, okay? For some of you, you are thinking about a fire sign here, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. And for some reason, there might have been a total stop in communication with you and this person. And you're trying to reach out, but I feel that they are somewhat like ghosting you. They're not really responding. And they're going to need some type of major, big gesture from your end in order for them to come back around. Okay. So especially, I feel like, this is more for heterosexual, like Scorpio male. If you're dealing with a fire sign female, I do feel there has been some type of strife, some type of rift in your relationship. If you're still thinking about this person, I feel like it's going to be difficult for you both to come back together. And then if you're like if you're like just a Scorpio dealing with another fire sign, I do feel there's some type of shady energy going on here. So you want to be a little bit careful. And I feel like this person, they're very, very perceptive. They have a lot of passion, they have a lot of rage within them, but you know, it's a queen energy. So they are very self-controlled. And I do feel that you want to be careful. If there has been any type of deception from your end, you want to be a little bit careful about not pushing your luck, mainly because I feel like this person already knows what's going on. Okay, so I don't feel that they're confrontational, but I feel like they're putting up with a lot already. So I feel that you want to be really careful, like, you know, walking around on eggshells. Tread very carefully with this situation. So in terms of the foundation is something that you know to be true. We have here the Four of Cups as well as the Seven of Cups. The Four of Cups is a situation where someone is kind of like bored with their current situation. And whenever you're in a relationship or whenever you're even single and the options that are coming through for you are not, you know, something that you really, really want, I feel like people get in the habit of either thinking about the past or even wanting somebody that is unattainable, mainly to break out of this bored cycle. So a lot of you might be ruminating over, you know, things that have gone wrong with past lovers. And you might even, you know, be tempted to reach out to past lovers. A lot of you who are in a relationship, specifically with a fire sign, I feel like, you know, things are a little bit challenging in that relationship. And so a lot of you might be, you know, feeling a little bit trapped, feeling a little bit like uninspired by the relationship. And as a result of it, you might resort to electronic communication. You might resort to, you know, like succumbing to temptation outside of the relationship. Just be very careful about that. I feel like one person or both parties have already tried that. If you are at all in open relationships, that's fine. But I feel like if you have agreed to, you know, see each other exclusively, you want to be careful. I see a lot of experimentation actually coming through for this month. And I do feel a lot of people who are at a distance from a significant other are trying to, you know, either see other people or are trying to inject some passion back into the romantic relationship by doing, you know, introducing gadgets and using, you know, even like communicating from a distance in order to bridge the divide between you and another person. So the Seven of Cups, once again, is a fantasy card. It's a card about, you know, experimentation, temptation, and finding ways to creatively solve some type of relationship problem. So I do sense that coming through, and I feel like it's going to be very fruitful for you guys in to continue at it, because I don't see there's anything wrong here with that. Okay. In terms of what's coming through in your future, we do have the Emperor. And the Emperor is showing up, usually, you know, in a reading, whether or not you're on the right track. There is going to be some type of, this is usually an indicator, whether or not you're on the right track, okay? So I want to say this. If you have been dealing with somebody and I feel that, you know, they might have cheated on you and you're still ruminating over them, you're still like looking at what they're doing and you're still like, you know, either stalking through social media or trying to figure out what's going on with them. I feel that you need to put a stop to it, because there's some energy here about, you know, getting disapproval. So it's not supported for you to like torture yourself by doing this, okay? And then for others of you who are like in a relationship and you're tempted by somebody younger, you're tempted by somebody new, and somebody who's potentially quite naive, just be very careful about not straying, okay? Because I do see a lot of temptation from your end. Overall, the advice here regarding your love relationship, and especially what's coming through, is that you are going to have to decide one route or the other, one person or the other. And I don't feel that you know, it's not like a have your cake and eat it too type of a month. So you are going to have to be like, you know, channel your higher self in order to arrive at a better decision so that you're not hurting other people. Okay, so a decision regarding a relationship especially regarding two relationship partners, are going to have to be made for this month. And it's coming in quite strongly. It was permeating the previous reading. So it's coming through again. And I do feel this